Um, do you believe, and we should both answer this one,
All right.
but I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Do you believe that work is a means to fulfillment or just to wealth?
Oh man, I think you could go both ways on that. I think there's, for some people, I don't even know how to answer that. I think it's so personalized to the. I think for a certain percentage of the population out there, your work can be a means for fulfillment. And I think if you really love what you do and you're passionate and you found a way to make money doing that, then absolutely. But I think for the majority of people out there, work is just a means to an end. It's just something you got to do to get what you want, and maybe they're not totally passionate about what they're into or really enthusiastic about. I think it can be, but I think, unfortunately, the majority of situations out there are not the case.
You know, I very much agree with that. I feel like what's frustrating for a lot of people is that a lot of times the people who are giving advice about things like work, fulfillment, etc., are often people who are in really cool jobs, or like people who really do what they love, or people who have the luxury of working a job that extremely aligns with what they want to be doing every day, which to your point is not the case for most people. I would say, I mean, for me, obviously there's an element of fulfillment to it, but ultimately at the end of the day, I think people often, it's the worst outcome for people when they treat their job, especially when it's just, you know, they're working for an employer and they treat it as if they, like, it should be, that it should be everything to them. Like their work is their family and their job is their love. Like, I think that often for a lot of people creates really unhealthy boundaries between work and life, where you'll find yourself like sending emails at 11 p.m. or like checking it first thing in the morning on a Sunday, and it just creeps into the rest of your life. And I think you always have to remember that at the end of the day, work should enable you. It should enable you to do things you love, but it should also enable you to live a good life. And if you find yourself letting work overwhelm the rest of your life, that's time you can't get back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, if you are someone like, you know, Graham or myself, and you own your own business and, you know, that's something that you absolutely love doing, sure. But, you know, I know a lot of people who are, I would say, a little bit too dedicated to their work, and it creeps into their life.
But if they're too dedicated, couldn't that be their sense of fulfillment?
It could be. I think for some people it is. But I do think like a lot of our audience will say they feel like a little bit like workaholics. Mm-hmm. Like they just don't know how to put up that good boundary.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I feel like it's important to have at least one thing outside of your job that you really care about.
I agree
a hobby,
with that.
an activity, something else that balances out. Because if it's just work and going to sleep and watching TV, it's not healthy.
I agree.